A murder suspect broke free from a courtroom in a widely reported incident, which tested the boundaries of law enforcement and courthouse security procedures. The protagonist of this gripping story, Eddie Villalobos, pulled off an incredible courtroom escape, sparking a multi-hour manhunt. This incident brought to light flaws in the criminal justice system and brought important issues regarding how to strike a balance between security precautions and personal freedoms. The security camera footage of Villalobos' escape serves as an important reminder of the unforeseen difficulties that can occur in seemingly safe settings. This article explores the history of Eddie Villalobos and his audacious escape, exploring the reasons and methods by which a murder suspect flees from a courtroom. Subsequent sections will delve deeper into the intense manhunt and capture of Villalobos, providing more details on the coordinated efforts of law enforcement. In order to comprehend how such a breach happened, the article will also closely examine Oregon law and courtroom security procedures. This will be followed by a discussion of the legal and community responses to the unsettling incident. Eddie Villalobos' escape from an Oregon courthouse provides a distinctive perspective for analyzing and debating more general security, justice, and public safety issues. The response to this incident has been diverse, spanning from discussions about the need for more stringent security measures to worries about systemic shortcomings. This shows how difficult it is to strike a balance between protecting people's rights and dignity within the legal system and guaranteeing public safety. So we will begin with the background of Eddie Villalobos and his escape, which includes an overview of the escape incident. A 28-year-old man accused of murder and other serious offenses, Eddie Villalobos, planned the spectacular getaway from a courtroom in Oregon. He took advantage of the fact that there were no restraints, as required by state law, to escape during a lull in jury selection. Villalobos was seen on security camera leaving the courtroom, running down a hallway, and going through a staff-only exit, barely missing a bystander. Legal proceedings leading up to the escape. Villalobos was embroiled in several legal cases before his escape. He was charged with stabbing two men in separate incidents on the same day, which resulted in one death. After being arrested in April 2021, when he made his getaway, his trial for these charges was in progress. He also racked up charges for possessing an illegal weapon and selling contraband while incarcerated. Details of the escape from the courthouse. The breakout transpired when Villalobos, briefly freed during a court break, took advantage of the chance to flee. He ran through a couple of doors and out of the building. Villalobos escaped for about 2 hours despite the deputy's immediate pursuit, and he was apprehended again and charged with burglary and escape after being found hiding in a closet of an empty apartment. Initial response and setup of the search perimeter. Following Eddie Villalobos' escape, police in the Hillsborough downtown area moved quickly to begin a thorough search. A shelter-in-place order was issued by the authorities, advising locals and businesses to stay inside or stay away from the area in order to maintain safety and enable a more efficient search. Use of technology and K-9 units in the search. K-9 units' experience and cutting-edge technology were both employed in the search operation. Dogs helped the officers in their methodical canvassing of the area. Drones were also essential, giving aerial views that aided in identifying possible hiding places. Maintaining a tight perimeter and improving the likelihood of finding Villalobos required a concerted effort. Capturing Villalobos and charges faced post-recapture. Villalobos was discovered hiding in an empty apartment's closet thanks to a tip from a watchful apartment occupant. He was apprehended without any problems, and he was taken back to custody right away. In addition to the burglary and escape charges that were brought against him after his recapture, he now faces additional legal challenges stemming from previous serious offenses. In light of this incident, the security protocols of Oregon law and courtroom, which comprise should be our next top priority. Explanation of the law requiring unshackling defendants. The legal system in Oregon has long supported the idea that defendants shouldn't be physically restrained in court unless there is an obvious and immediate danger of their acting dangerously. This position, which stresses the accused person's dignity and presumption of innocence, is based on both common law and constitutional rights. This has been reaffirmed by recent decisions from the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which require judges to decide on an individual basis when using restraints and to make sure they are the least restrictive way to preserve safety and order. Discussion on the implications for courtroom security. Courtroom security faces special difficulties when it comes to the requirement to unshackle defendants, unless absolutely necessary, particularly in older buildings like the Multnomah County Courthouse that do not have adjoining holding cells. Due to the need to move defendants through public hallways, there may be an increase in security risks. The change in procedure has prompted the creation of emergency response plans and modifications to courtroom administration in order to preserve security without jeopardizing legal rights. Possible review and changes to courtroom security measures. Oregon courts are actively reviewing security measures in response to these challenges. The implementation of a restraints docket enables a more methodical process for determining when to use shackles while maintaining safety and upholding constitutional rights. In order to reduce the need for defendants to be physically transported, courts are also taking technological measures into consideration, such as making more use of video appearances. These actions are a part of a larger reevaluation of the ways in which the legal system can maintain both security and dignity. The next most important thing to consider is feedbacks and reactions of the community on such incident. Community and legal reactions. Legal experts and members of the community alike responded strongly to Edie Villalobos' escape and subsequent capture. Hillsborough locals voiced increased worries for their safety, especially in light of the dramatic escape and the furious manhunt that ensued. A shelter-in-place order and a temporary suspension of local services resulted from the incident, upsetting daily life and making people feel vulnerable. Experts in law have examined the courtroom processes that gave Villalobos the opportunity to flee. The choice to remove his shackles, which was made in accordance with Oregon law intended to protect the accused's dignity, has spurred discussions regarding how to strike a balance between community safety and human rights. Legal analysts argue that this incident might act as a trigger for updating procedures for managing high-risk clients, highlighting the need for an adaptable strategy that takes the particulars of each case into account without jeopardizing public safety. The fallout from Villalobos' escape highlights the continuous difficulties and evolution that courtroom security protocols require, reflecting a larger conversation about how legal systems can safeguard both individual rights and public safety. If we don't analyze the entire event and identify the good and bad aspects to incorporate into our lives, there is no benefit for us. This brings the entire incident we discussed to a close. Conclusion. The dramatic security footage of Edie Villalobos' audacious escape from an Oregon courthouse highlights the intricate relationship between preserving courtroom security and defending the rights and dignity of those who are in court. When considering this story, the salient features of Villalobos' daring escape, the ensuing pursuit by law enforcement, and the debate surrounding the court case illustrate not only the direct consequences of these security lapses, but also call for a more thorough assessment of the procedures within our criminal justice system. The essay has examined how security protocols and the presumption of innocence work together to balance the interests of public safety and justice in a contemporary legal system through the prism of this incident. The wider ramifications of Villalobos' escape address the fundamental conflict in our legal system, which is how to protect individual rights while maintaining public safety, a balance that is frequently put to the test by these kinds of situations. The need for a sophisticated approach to courtroom security that takes into account the particulars of each case without jeopardizing legal rights is more important than ever in light of this incident. This conversation is important because it sheds light on the particular difficulties the Oregon courthouse faces and serves as a starting point for more general discussions about how justice systems across the country might more effectively balance these competing agendas. As we proceed, the reactions that are being felt and the security protocol changes that have been suggested mark an important time for introspection and possible change within our legal systems, with the goal of averting future incidents while upholding the fundamental principles of justice and dignity. Ending today's thrilling discussion, this was the most daring escape from courtroom ever, and the escaped person was a murder suspect who escaped before his trial from the Oregon courthouse, but got caught eventually. So if you like our content, then subscribe to our channel for more thrilling and entertaining content in future.